Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I never imagined that I would have a chance of going down in history for being the creator of this really cool Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel. I wanted to create something special for every single person who ever believed in this franchise and every single person who just wanted to believe in something so magical. And lo and behold, we were able to create it together. Because this YouTube channel was never just created by me solely. This YouTube channel was created by every single person who ever believed in this and who came together and really created something special. Your contributions to this YouTube channel will be something that I know that will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. And the one thing that I will never ever forget, it will truly remain constant through the ages because you've made this your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time. I've taken a great deal of pride and passion behind every video that I have uploaded about Descendants and Zombies and created for every single person who has ever believed in these franchises and who has wanted to take a chance on it. Thank you so much for remaining with me from the very first video that was ever uploaded here, and thank you so much for having chosen this YouTube channel over every other YouTube channel that you could have chosen to become your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time. I never imagined that this would happen for me because this never really does happen for anybody who believes in a franchise with all of their heart. They just upload several videos about Descendants and Zombies and pretty much just forget about it. But I've dedicated my entire life to uploading videos about Descendants and Zombies, hoping that I could create content that would go on to resonate with each and every one of your hearts. It has become the greatest honor of my life, and to be honest with each and every one of you, I've had so much fun meeting all these incredible fans who have drawn inspiration from their favorite characters, their favorite songs, their favorite moments, and just having the chance to hear your story. Not necessarily share with you my story about how I was a fan of Descendants and Zombies, but really having the chance to hear your story from your perspective and how you feel about Descendants and Zombies has been an experience that I know that will forever and always remain close to my heart and forever and always remain with me. Because the feeling that you get understanding how a person feels about their favorite character or their favorite moment that made them a fan of Descendants and Zombies, whether it be watching the movies, being at the Worlds Collide tour, witnessing the premiere of Zombies 4 Down of the Vampires from last year, the feeling you get is truly uncomparable to anything that you could ever have the chance to experience in your lifetime. And take it from a guy who's experienced a lot over the last 25 years. I never imagined that my passion for Disney would be taken this far. That I would devote the rest of my life to creating content for everybody who believed in me with all of their heart. You guys truly saw something special in this YouTube channel that is evident more than anything else has ever been evident to me in my entire life, and you've done me the honor of allowing me to become your voice and to have represented you as a voice of Descendants and Zombies. Everybody has a voice when it comes to these franchises, and you should never ever be afraid to let the world know how you truly feel about Descendants and Zombies. Your passions for Freya, Sky, Kyle, and Control should forever and always be showcased. Because you are the reason why they are the superstars that they are. You are the reason why they're putting up millions of views and downloads for their music. You're the reason why Descendants and Zombies is receiving millions of hours of screen time on Disney Plus and various other streaming services, because you guys believe in these franchises so much in their stories. I think we've all taken something special away from every story of Descendants and Zombies. Over the 4 chapters of Zombies, over the 4.5 chapters of Descendants, we have seen so much happen, and we still have so much to be excited for that unforeseeable future, which many of us don't know what the future has in store. But the thing is, the future is really exciting, and I think that's the most fun about the future, is that we never seem to know what the future has in store, because the most precious thing about the future is the time that we have. We often wonder, what would we do if we had more time? Would we spend it with more people that we love? Would we surround ourselves with the people that we wish we could have more time to really appreciate their love that they've shown for us and give back to them? Would we go back in time and fix some of the mistakes that we've made in our past, because we are all far from perfect, because we're all created equal? The one thing I've never ever wanted any of you to forget is that there's only one you, and because there's only one you, it's about how you want your legacy to be defined, because your life is pretty much an open book. The blank pages in everybody's book gives you a chance to write a new chapter every single day of your life, and it's up to you how you want those chapters to be written. It's all about how you want your life to be perceived and how you want to go on to achieve acceptance, which Zed and Addison eventually would achieve in the Zombies franchise, because acceptance oftentimes is very difficult, far more difficult to achieve than ever given credit for. I think the story of Zombies really put into perspective just how valuable and how precious life is. along with commodities like time. And I think that the very few friendships that we have in our lifetime, because all we've ever really needed are probably 3 or 4 really good friends to help us make sense of everything going on around us. I pretty much fell into that category where I didn't really have a whole lot of friends going through high school. My high school experience was one that sometimes I choose to forget about because I was bullied. I had this done to me. I had that done to me. But the 3 or 4 really good friends that I was able to make throughout my high school experience was all I ever realized that I needed. And I held them close with me. We hung out all the time, every single opportunity we had. And we all had dreams. Some of us wanted to have bigger dreams than others, but we all had dreams. And eventually we would all go on to realize our dreams because of the support those 3 or 4 really good friends would give us in our lifetime. And I think we all experience this at one point or another in our lifetime, and that's something very valuable that I think all of us have taken away from Descendants of Zombies, along with the stories of each individual character, because it was never just one story that was represented in Descendants of Zombies. Each character had their own individual story, and they had a way of telling it. Like Bridget, Ruby Rose Turner's character, was a character I was particularly fond of and very quickly fell in love with because I've always believed that her story is anything but having been told and completed. And as long as I believe that her story has been anything but having been told and completed, it's something I've held on to, and I've left the door more widely open than ever before for her to have a chance to kind of re-emerge in the story some way or somehow in whatever capacity, just to retell her story the way she's always wanted it to be told. I remember how excited she was to get the call from the executives of Disney letting her know she had the role of Bridget, the young Queen of Hearts, in the Descendants franchise, and she was reduced to tears because she was really having a bad day when she finally got the call, and then her spirits became uplifted because she knew she was going to have the chance to be a part of something special, and she took full advantage of it. She really seized an opportunity. She was there for every bit of PR. She was doing all these interviews, answering all the fans' questions, all the media questions, no matter what they were, and she really had the time of her life. And if anything, she taught me just how precious time was, because we never seem to know how much time we have, and just the value of friendship. She was really one of these genuinely sweet people that I could never seem to get enough of. And hearing her voice on the song Life is Sweeter When You Are, that is something I'm really going to miss in Descendants by Wonderland, is hearing her voice on that song, because that was a song specifically written for her to sing, and there was always just something about her voice on that song. I have 100% confidence that Leimani Segura and Kylie Control are going to do a wonderful job singing that song, but I think there's always and forever been something about Ruby Rose Turner's voice to me that really brought that song to life and gave it so much incentive and really a purpose. And I think that's why it became everybody's favorite song, and certainly the catchiest song out of the probably 8 songs that were released on the original Descendants Rise of Red score. And now we look ahead and turn our attention to the score for Descendants 5, Wonderland, what kind of music we will hear. There are all kinds of rumors about Pink having her own introductory song into the franchise, all these new remixes being made for it and brought forth. I think it's going to be something that's really going to present a very different vibe for Descendants. I know the new music for Descendants: The Rise of Red was a very different vibe from the originals when you compared the original scores to these from The Rise of Red, but I think it really set a tone. It presented a Wicked kind of Harry Potter kind of vibe, and everybody very quickly fell in love with it because they remembered being fans of Harry Potter and Wicked. I know I have a lot of Wicked fans subscribed here to this YouTube channel, and I've never felt more honored to have fans of Ariana Grande and all the stars of Wicked subscribed here. I was a Wicked fan myself. I know I don't really post a whole lot of videos about Wicked, but I was always a fan of Wicked and the original Wizard of Oz story from about 30 years ago. I'm a lot older than a lot of you guys are, so I've come to appreciate stories of the Wizard of Oz and Wicked for forever, and I really appreciated seeing it for the first time ever on the big screen. I saw both of them. Just last year I saw Wicked Part 1 and then Wicked for Good earlier this past year. And it was so fun for me getting the chance to experience it, because I've always had a greater appreciation for musicals and how musicals give you an opportunity to tell more of a story than ever before, because oftentimes when the music is too high, the emotions are running wild and running rampant. I think that music allows you to tell a story that you really can't tell through the power of a script, and when the music can't tell the story, it's left up to the script to tell what's left. And I think that Wicked and Descendants and Harry Potter will forever and always hold a very special place in our hearts, as to will the characters who represented this story, because you can't tell a story without characters, and you can't tell a story without an audience, because it's always about how the audience perceives the story. And I think that everybody accepted the Descendants characters of old and new into our lives, and we felt very differently about all the new cast members who have seen their introduction into the Descendants franchise. But regardless of how we felt about them, they've offered a lot. And I think that it opens up the door more widely than ever before to see new chapters and to hear new stories told. And I think that that's what's so exciting and so amazing about being fans of Descendants and Zombies. We have the chance to watch these movies with our friends. We have the chance to have these conversations all the time through the power of YouTube. And I've had the chance to fulfill my dream of being a full-time YouTube creator because of Descendants of Zombies, because many years ago I never had the opportunity to really tell people how I felt about video games, TV shows, and movies in a way that I wanted to tell them. The thing was, I had opportunities to review movies and music and TV shows all the time, different concepts of entertainment such as Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande, but never in a way that I wanted to tell you the story of how I felt about it. And it wasn't until many years later I had the chance to kind of go out on my own, create my own branch of entertainment through the power of this YouTube channel. I never imagined that it would come in the form of Descendants of Zombies, but it happened for me. And it happened for me in such a magical way because everybody really came together and created something special and allowed me the chance to be a part of something special, which was each and every one of your lives. Because the reality of it was, you guys never had to accept me as your voice of Descendants of Zombies. I felt as if I was somebody with a backpack on his back kind of wandering through the forest of Oregon until I saw the Oregon sign in the distance and I just kept walking. And then I discovered this magical world of fairy tale characters, was able to break down the reviews of these franchises the way they've forever and always been meant to be reviewed, give you analogies along with some predictions and fun facts and trivia. And we've had so much fun here on this YouTube channel. And this YouTube channel has seen over 100,000 channel views, almost 4,000 subscribers. And I have each and every one to thank for that, because I never imagined this would happen for me. Many YouTube creators who theme their content around Descendants of Zombies might get 1,000 subscribers. I think one of the more popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channels that are themed around this concept had like 1,400 subscribers, and we have long surpassed them, so we have taken over the top spot as everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel. The only ones ever ahead of us are Disney, and that's because Disney has 1.5 million subscribers, which is a long way away from ever happening for this YouTube channel, but we are in second place, coming just behind Disney as everybody's favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel. And it gets me to thinking all the time, why hasn't Disney created their own version of the Descendants of Zombies podcast? Well, many of you probably think it's because Jonathan Clarke doesn't host the official Descendants of Zombies podcast, if there ever is going to be one to come to pass. I think that I'm more content hosting this show and telling you how I truly feel about Descendants of Zombies, because if you can never perceive it with an open heart and an open mind, then whatever is the purpose of recording your thoughts on Descendants of Zombies and sharing it with thousands of people, if not millions? I never imagined this YouTube channel would go on to have such an incredible reach. People from the United Kingdom, people from Australia, Ireland, Canada, the United States, different parts of the world. This world is amazing, and this YouTube channel has had such an incredible reach, attracting people from Ireland, the United Kingdom, Scotland, Canada, the United States, even Vermont. So, I mean, this is truly incredible and unlike anything that I've ever experienced in my lifetime. I've always wanted to create relatable content, and I had no idea how I was going to be able to do that. I just started talking about my love for fairy tales such as Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland, even Beauty and the Beast and Tangled, which I was a huge fan of. I will never forget the premiere of Tangled back at the Capitan Theater in November of 2010, and just how captivated everybody was by Mandy Moore's portrayal of this character and how she brought this version of Rapunzel to life unlike we had ever seen. I still have the Rapunzel Disney Infinity action figure as part of my Disney Infinity action figure collection, and I've always collected this Rapunzel merchandise oftentimes through the years because I've had a greater appreciation for how Mandy Moore really believed in that character. And now Tegan Croft has the distinction of being the live-action Rapunzel for the first ever live-action Tangled. This is a live action that Disney really can ill afford to make any mistakes with. And going into this, I was hoping that somebody like Freya Sky or Ruby Rose Turner was going to be given the honor to be Rapunzel, because the passion they carried with them. They always had a desire to want to be Rapunzel because they both had blonde hair, and there was just something about Rapunzel they had ever felt more captivated about. And I remember being so supportive of the idea of Ruby and Freya coming into play this character as one of two possibilities, and then they go with Tegan Croft. When it was first announced Tegan Croft was going to be the live-action Rapunzel, I really don't know how I felt about it. Now, for Milo Manheim fans, I chose to give it the benefit of the doubt, and if I was going to say anything about it, it was going to be something nice, but I would have loved to have seen, say, Meg Donnelly even come in, given their history with the zombies, to see them kind of, be on the big screen for what would have been the first time ever. I think millions of tickets would have been sold. It would have been the highest grossing live action in Disney history when you compare it to things like Beauty and the Beast and even The Little Mermaid, because I know how many mixed reactions were, kind of coming in for movies like The Little Mermaid and Snow White for many, many years. So, I was kind of let down over the idea of how Tegan Croft was given the distinction of being the live-action Rapunzel when there were so many other suggestions that could have been made. But I've always believed there are more opportunities coming the way of people like Freya Sky and Ruby Rose Turner. All they have to do is really keep holding on. And I've never wanted to say goodbye to any characters who may have been a part of the Descendants and Zombies franchises, past or present, because there is still a long way to go with these franchises. These are the first franchises really in a long time that I think we can take a chance on believing in for forever. And this is the one thing that I've always wanted to put a greater emphasis on, is my appreciation for forever and fairy tale characters, maybe because I've studied them for years. I remember, taking folk literature classes in high school and always taking away a greater appreciation for what these fairy tale characters and their stories would have to my heart. And I remember being a part of all these stage productions for Disney princesses over the years and just having so much fun, having the chance to bring these stories to life and tell your own version of the story, because it's never about how you feel about it. It's always about how the audience perceives your story and your version of it and how you tell it. Everything in life is about how you tell your story and how you carve a legacy, because we all have legacies that we do eventually leave behind. I think that really is the meaning of life, is how we carve a legacy and how we eventually all leave one behind, no matter what our legacy is remembered for having contributed to. And I've always wanted to have it to be something to do with my passion for Disney. I was a sports broadcaster for many years. I covered professional wrestling for over 25 of my 30-year career. And I remember, being very passionate about wrestling, but even with how passionate I was about wrestling, there was something more for me to give. I had this passion for Disney, which many sports broadcasters do have, believe it or not. And it was many years later until I had the opportunity to share with you my story about how I was a Disney fan. And then all this magic happens for me because we all come together and we create something special for every fan of Descendants of Zombies who believed in Clarke and Trell and Freya Sky with all of their heart. And because this happened for each and every one of you, because of each and every one of you, I have each and every one of you to thank, because I know that I would not be here if not for your love for Descendants and Zombies. The love that you have forever and always carried with you for these franchises falls nothing short of spectacular to me. It never ceases to amaze me, and I hope 15 years from now we can continue to have these conversations about how girls used to show up at my door dressed up as their favorite Descendants and Zombies characters of all time, how they've had favorite songs from Descendants, and they've really loved this story, because you can't help but fall in love with this story time and time again. No matter how many times you tell this story, there's always a new opportunity to tell this story differently and to really believe in it. And I think that somewhere, somehow, we really have believed in something special for Descendants and Zombies, and we've held on to that believement for forever. And now we have these new stars such as Freya and Keanu Romero and Liamani Segura coming into the story, and we've welcomed them with open arms, because I'm really excited to see what Pink's character is going to be offering to this franchise. Liamani Segura is very passionate about this character and really bring her to life. I saw her work on High School Musical, the series, and I got to be honest with you, I very quickly fell in love with her, and I've supported her ever since, and I will continue to support her in that very near future, even though we don't know what the future has in store. It gives us more of a reason to be excited about what the future has up and coming. And because we are very excited about what the future has up and coming and in store for us all, I think that it creates a very creative vibe. And because it creates a very creative vibe and it gives us more to believe in than perhaps ever before when it comes to Descendants of Zombies, we've seen just about everything happen for it, but there is still so much we haven't seen happen for it, like the characters finding their way into Fortnite, or a big screen presentation like they did for Hannah Montana and High School Musical years ago. There is always an opportunity. If you see so much success on Disney Channel, bring it to the big screen. have crossover opportunities between the two franchises, have a successful TV series that you could hear on Disney Plus, because I really do believe that these franchises have given someone something to believe in very, very special, and I've often wanted to encourage that, to let you know that the story was far from over. Even with how many characters we have already met, we still have so many characters yet to meet, and I am incredibly excited to be a part of it and to share in it with each and every one of you who have ever believed in Descendants of Zombies, and really and forever and always believed in me, having made me your voice of Descendants of Zombies. This has become the greatest honor of my life and the most fun that I've had in my 25-year career as a YouTuber. And very few YouTubers have the chance to make it as far as what I have with my Descendants of Zombies content. I've been able to touch your hearts, I've been able to resonate with you, and that truly means the world to me. I can never seem to put into words how appreciative I am of every fan. Just know that you will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. Many of us are excited about the upcoming release window for Descendants 5 at Wonderland, and the suggested release windows for Zombies, which is not expected to happen until late 2027 or 2028, with production of this scheduled to pick up in spring of 2026. I think I got that right. But regardless of when these movies will drop, it gives us more of a reason to be excited and to hold on for that ride into that unforeseeable future. So come with, why don't you? And hit that subscribe button, because we still have a long way to go, because this story is far from over. Why? Because it doesn't really have to be, because we believe in it so much. We really truly do believe in it with all of our heart. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and to ring that bell for every time that I upload, because you're never going to regret it, because there is something here on this YouTube channel truly for every fan of Descendants of Zombies, and I've never felt more honored to be a part of these conversations with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for making this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time, and thank you so much from my heart to yours for forever and always watching this video.